Now, what are the benefit of patent protections? So, in previous class, we see about the intellectual properties and patent. Now, we will see about the benefits of the patent protections. What are the different benefit advantages of using patent as a intellectual properties? So, we need to prevent theft of inventions. We can protect our intellectual properties. Higher profit margin, reduce competitions, encourage settlements, expand market shares. Are all inventions patentable? No. The following inventions are not patentable. First is invention which is frivolous, invention which is contrary to well-established natural law, mere discovery of scientific principle or formulation of an abstract theory, invention related to atomic energies, method of agriculture or horticulture, inventions if already known to the public or is in use. Inventions is already patented anywhere in the world if someone has filled the application for patent prior to use for the same invention. The examples for patent: Monsanto brought the glyphosate to the market in 1974 under the trade name Roundup Ready. Monsanto's last commercially relevant United States patent expired in 2000. Now, glyphosate has been marketed by various companies. So, these are the various companies which are now producing glyphosate under trade name All Out 450 herbicides. Manufacturers UP Law, UPL Australia Limited. Minus 450 herbicide by Agricrop. Broadway herbicides FMC Australian Private Limited. Centurion herbicide by Proterra Private Limited. Now TK, traditional knowledge. What is TK? The knowledge which continuously developed, acquired, used, practiced, transmitted, and sustained by communities, individuals through generation is called as traditional knowledge. In India, traditional knowledge, including existing oral knowledge, cannot be protected under the provision of existing IPR law mentioned here in the above. Biopiracy of traditional knowledge, the commercial exploitation, monopolization of biological or genetic material as medicine plant extract, usually without compensating the indigenous people or country from which material relevant knowledge is obtained. Biopiracy of traditional knowledge. Commercial exploitation, monopolization of the biological materials as medicinal plant extract, usually without compensating the indigenous people or countries from which material or relevant knowledge came. Basmati case study. In late 1997, American company Rice Tech Corporation was granted a patent by US company to call the aromatic rice grown outside the India basmati. Rice Tech Incorporation had been trying to enter the international basmati market with brands like Basmati and Taxmati, which is described basmati type rice with minimal success. However, with Basmati patent right, Rice Tech will now be able to not only call its aromatic rice Basmati within the US, but also label it Basmati for its export. India and Pakistan will not only lose out 45,000 ton US export market, which forms 10% of total Basmati exports. In addition to the patent, Basmati is believed to be a violation of the fundamental fact that long grain aromatic rice grown only in Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh is called as Basmati. According to Dr. Vandana Siva, Director of Delhi Waste Research Foundation's scam monitors issue involving patent and biopiracy, they claim that theft involved in Basmati patent is therefore threefold. Theft of collection, intellectual and biodiversity heritage on Indian farmers. A theft from Indian traders and exporters whose markets are being stolen by rice taking corporations. Deception of consumers' rice since rice tech is using stolen name Basmati products, which is derived from Indian rice but not grown in India, hence not same quality. Similarly, turmeric case study US patent number 5401504 on turmeric was awarded to University of Mississippi Medical Center in May 1995, specifically for the use of turmeric in wound healing. But that was actually we are using in Indian societies. Away on to intellectual property rights. Patent was promptly challenged by Dr. R.A. Mashalkar, an Indian scientist who has done much to awaken India to intellectual property right issues. In India, where turmeric has been used medicinally for thousands of years, concern grew about the economically and socially damaging impact of this legal BIO-PIRACY. CSIR urged that turmeric had been used for thousands of years for healing wounds, and Rakesh and thus it medicinally used modern English. The claim was supported by documentary evidence, traditional knowledge, including ancient of Sanskrit text. Paper published in 53 in Journal of Indian Medical Association. The US patent 5401504 granted in May 1995, CSIR request for re-examination at US Patent Office in October 1996. First office action rejection all patent claims in March 1996. That response by the patentee. Second action report again patentee's interview with examiner, re-examination certificate issue and proceeding in favor of CSIR in April 1998. Similarly, NEEM case study for century for Western world ignored the neem tree and its properties. The practice of Indian patients and doctors were not deemed worth of attention by the majority of British, French, Portuguese colonists. 1971, the US timber importer Robert Larson observed that tree usefulness in India and began importing neem seeds to his company headquartered in Wisconsin. Over the next decade, he concluded safely and performing tests upon a pesticidal neem extract called Margosa. Clearance for the product from the US Environmental Agency. 3 years later, he sold the patent for the product of multinational chemical corporation, Gas Corporation Limited. Since 1985, over a dozen US patents have been taken out by US and Japanese farmers for use stable neem-based solution emulsion, even for a neem-based toothpaste. 1992, W.R. Grace secured its right to formulate that huge emulsions. Emulsions from the neem tree seeds to make powerful pesticides. It also began suing Indian company for making the emulsions. The neem company, which consisting group of NGO individual initiative in 1993 in India. This was done to mobilize worldwide support to protect the indigenous knowledge system and resources of the Third World War. Piracy by the West, particularly in properties. Light of emerging threats from the intellectual property right regimes under WTO and trade. The name patent became the first case to challenge European patent ground. On the 30th September 1997, the European interim judgment on the challenges of European patent on fungicidal effect of neem oil, which is owned by WTO. The European Patent Office accepted the argument offered by Indian soil scientists and rejected the oral of US Patent Office to award the patent to WRS and US based company. Last hearing of the case. Indian side Scientists urge that people of India have known the medical properties of neem for the thousands years, and hence no other companies can patent its property. If you accept the arguments, plant varieties production or plant breeder right. Right granted to breeder of new variety of the plants, known as plant breeder rights. These law typically grant the plant breeder control the propagating material, which includes seed, cutting, deviant tissue culture, etc., and harvested material like cut flowered fruits, foliage of new variety for a number of years. There are certain international rights also. The International Convention of Protection of Nuclear Varieties, UPOV conventions. Purpose of convention was to ensure that member state party to the convention acknowledge the achievement of breeders of new plant varieties for making available to them an exclusive right on basis of access, uniform and clearly defined principle. The main objective of PPV Act are recognize and protect right of farmer for their contribution made at any time in conserving and proving and making available plant genetic resources for development of new plant varieties. To encourage development of new plant varieties for to accelerate the agricultural development. To accelerate agriculture development in the country and protect plant breeder rights. To stimulate innovation, research, development, both in public and private sectors. To facilitate the growth of seed industry, which will ensure availability of good quality seed and plant material. So registration for all plant varieties is mandatory cap for the time period 18 years. Type of variety that can be registered. New varieties, farmers variety, extant varieties can be registered under this plant breeder farmers right. Person eligible for registration plant varieties, breeders, farmers, university, agricultural institute researchers. What are the different rights given to breeders? For breeders, production, sale, marketing, distribution, export, import, etc. Farmers right to say the use, sow, reshow, exchange, share, sell the farm produce, including seed in the same manner, or as he was entitled earlier. Seed for sale should not be branded. To fee disclosure of expected performance of the seeds or planting material by the plant breeders. Researcher right. Free and complete access to protected material for research using development new variety of plants. So again, this is all about for the today's class. Thank you.